You got your first chance in Super Rugby at the Force against the Stormers.
Yep.
At Nib.
Yep.
And you won.
Yeah.
Take me back to that day.
Yeah, that was huge.
Habana.
Yep.
Shockberger.
Yep.
Etzebeth, as you mentioned. Big names.
Monster team, yeah.
So special.
My school teacher was attacked by monkeys one morning, and so it's like I'm like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. Like,
welcome back to another episode of that Backyard Property Pod, and I am so pumped today. I've got someone I've known for quite a long time, actually. We've got a dad, business owner, husband, and an all-round absolute legend, Justin Turner, JT. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, mate. Stoked to be here.
It's been a few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. There was a fair hiatus, though.
A long hiatus. And we're going to cover everything from rugby to Fitstop as a business owner with Fitstop, and then just being a dad and running a family. But the place I love to start these conversations with is what a home means to you. And you're right in the trenches at the moment, mate. Talk to me. What is home to you?
Yeah. Home at the moment is chaos, but I think if I thought of what home was to me, it's definitely a place you feel kind of safe and place you can be yourself, place you feel loved, supported, and that's definitely what our house is at the moment. But with three babies, it's chaos as well, and we're embracing the chaos. But yeah. Amazing wife that's kind of taking care of the family. My mum and dad are across the fence, as we spoke about, as our very, very helpful neighbours. But yeah, home is definitely a place where my family is, I would say, if I had to sort of summarise it.
Where is home for you, childhood? Like, where does childhood take you back to in terms of memories? Is it back in South Africa? Is it here? Like, what's home to you from memories?
Yeah, I'd say I'd go back to South Africa is where the roots are.
Yeah.
Like if I had to go, where did I grow up? Even though I was only in South Africa till I was 13, which is obviously, I've been in Australia 20 more years now, so a lot more of my life. But yeah, home I would say is South Africa and the bush, very much like in the middle of nowhere. I was born in a tiny little town, maybe one set of traffic lights, one little school, and everyone kind of knew everyone. And most of our friends and family were farmers. So we grew up riding dirt bikes, fishing and wandering around. And a lot of our friends and family were owners of game reserves and stuff like that. So we went on safaris and lived on properties that had lions and elephants and stuff. And there were monkeys that were like in the schoolyard and that. So yeah, I'd say it's a pretty wild childhood. But yeah, I very much am proud of where I've come from, the bush in South Africa.
I was literally thinking that's wild.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's nuts, eh? So, yeah, funny story. One of our primary school teachers parked her car down, under this old little bush area, and the monkeys that were notoriously in that tree. And the story goes, the monkey came down and actually she got attacked by these monkeys, and she's fine, but she got bitten by a monkey. So, my school teacher was attacked by monkeys one morning, and so it's like I'm like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. It was civilized as well. We did get taught in classrooms, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Do you remember the migration across to here? What's the memory of that?
Yeah, I do. We moved from, like I say, a tiny rural town in South Africa to Sydney. At the time, the 7th biggest city in the world.
Did you know where Sydney was?
Knew it was in Australia, and I knew that was by the beach, which I now know that there's places in Australia that are a long way from the beach. But because we lived in the bush in the farm, we went to the beach and we associated that with a holiday. You're going to the beach, you're on holiday. Now we're moving to Sydney, which is on the beach. We're having a permanent holiday. So, and that novelty didn't really wear off for a long time. And my parents are amazing at making sure that we moving our whole family across the world. And my mum and dad were amazing at making sure that we settled in and we were always going to live by the beach, because me and my brother were we're going to the beach now. We live on the beach. So we lived on the northern beaches in sort of Brookvale, Manly, a really kind of amazing area in Sydney. That transition was tough, obviously leaving a lot of friends and family, but we were still fairly young. So we're able to kind of just jump straight in and make new friends and adopt the Aussie way of living.
Were you playing rugby at that stage?
No, in South Africa, funnily enough, which is all rugby, we were at a little English-speaking school in what was predominantly an Afrikaans environment with these a lot bigger kids. So my parents kept me safe and made me play soccer. But as soon as we got to Sydney, actually started playing rugby league. Yeah, so Sydney being huge for league. Started playing rugby league, got my first taste for it, and then pretty quickly transitioned. My dad got me across to Union, and that's where the rugby sort of journey probably started.
Bit more sophisticated.
Little bit more sophisticated. I think my dad was a bit like, if you're going to play rugby, you're going to play the proper rugby, not this like tackling touch version.
Do you talk to them much about that move across? Because obviously now being a parent, you would have looked at them as parents and knowing everything. And now as a parent, you're like, well, I don't know anything more than what I did pre-being a parent. Like, do you ever talk to them about it coming from a parent-to-parent perspective?
Probably don't really as much as I could, but I do know, and I have thought about, gee, that would have been a hard decision because my dad owned a business, mum had a really successful like travel agency business, so two business owners. My brother had just been accepted into where he would have gone for his high school in boarding in Durban, which would be in Michael House, a really good school, and so like the life path was kind of set up. And so they uplifted our whole family and moved across the world, where the only reason we came to Sydney was because that's where my mum's brother was. So my uncle and my cousin was here, or in Sydney. So, but what a huge call. But the sacrifice they made, because that's where their whole network was, their whole like childhood friends they grew up with were there with their kids. But they did it for my brother and I, for the future and the security of our family. So super, super grateful that they did that and sacrificed what they did. But in terms of putting myself in their shoes, I probably haven't really considered it as much as I could. But now as a parent, the thought of moving to another suburb is scary, let alone across the world with all your belongings and everything, your dogs and stuff. So
pre-internet too.
Pre-internet, yeah. So you're not as connected as we were, as we are now. So yeah, huge sacrifice they made. But I mean, the opportunities me and my brother have now in the life we live is all thanks to them. So yeah, very, very grateful that
very special. And I guess now that they're getting to live vicariously through you with the kids as well, being next door or behind.
Exactly, yeah. We're a very tight family. My parents are incredibly supportive with both my kids and my brother's kids. We're very much, like you said, it's a village raising the three girls and my brother's two boys. And had we been in South Africa, would we have the same dynamic? I'd probably say no. It would probably be a little bit more separated. So tough decision at the time, but yeah, it's kind of created this amazing life we have now.
Yeah, and you just fast forward because there's obviously a lot in between which we'll chat about. But let's chat Fitstop. Yeah, this is obviously you've got 3 babies.
Yeah, true.
And you'd call Fitstop, well, 2 Fitstops. Yeah. Your 4th and 5th baby. Yeah. How did that start, and where is it now?
Yeah, Fitstop came about post rugby days. So I spent a lot of time in the gym rehabbing my broken body from all the injuries, as you can sort of attest to, get battered up on the rugby field. Spent a lot of time in the gym just doing rehab. So got to kind of really know the body, anatomy, training, different energy systems. And then through that and spending a lot of time on the sideline, ended up getting my cert sort of 3 and 4 in fitness and just kind of ticked the box really. And then traveled and was working as a PT, but didn't really think of anything opening a business with it. It was more just kind of filling my time until I found something that I was going to do long-term post-rugby. And then Dane, my best mate from school, Wallaby, really, really successful rugby player in Australia and all over the world, Japan, France. He finished up and he kind of had always backed me with everything I'd done. So huge shout out to Dane. He said, mate, you're so good at this fitness stuff. You're so passionate about it. It'd be a waste if you transitioned into the next chapter without kind of having something a little bit more significant behind you. And so we started spitballing ideas around like, what does a fitness business look like? And we looked at F45s and the BFTs and everything. And we never really kind of really resonated with any of those group fitness styles. So we started coming up with our own thing. And we didn't know what the name was going to be, but we knew we wanted to be sport focused, like have a point of difference around team training. And we got quite a long way down this like business development idea, a lot of whiteboard sessions for a couple of months. And then we found Fitstop. And the first one opened down in Melville. And we're like, oh, let's go check this out. And this might give us a few more ideas. And it basically was like, this is our idea. This is it. Someone's done it. It's like a formula already. And so we pulled the trigger and we said, this is great. Let's sign up to opening a Fitstop. And the first one was Jollymont, which is just epic, love it. It's definitely, like you said, the first baby, and still going strong now with a great team and a great core of members. And then a year ago, we opened Karen Up, and on a great trajectory as well, with an awesome team led by Kate, who's killing it, and a great member base, one of which is yourself, sweating his butt off every day. So yeah, it's been a really fun journey of following my passion for fitness, but yeah, steep learning curve with the business side of things too.
I was just thinking, Jollymont is 4 years now, so Jollymont was before your eldest.
Yeah.
So you literally started the business. You're like, all right, we're ready to go. No kids. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
How it's changed over the last couple of years.
Oh, massively. Yeah, I think I just went all in with it at the start. I lived and breathed it, worked every shift, and I think that's kind of what set it up quite well as well. But had we opened it now, geez, I wouldn't be able to invest the same time that I could have. So yeah, stoked that I did it when I did, and kind of got it up and running, and we've got a fantastic team that support us along the way. But yeah, my involvement and capacity to be there as much as I was is just, a quarter. But making it work, and yeah, thanks to a great team supporting me.
I think it's the team, but it's also the environment you've created. As we were talking about off air, the first day that I came into the Fitstop in Karen Up, there's a beautiful man that we know quite well called Tama that's there, and he epitomizes the culture that you've created. And so walked in, big smile, nice to see you, nice, what's your name? And I think that it's kind of understated how much you've probably put into that culture and built that up. Was that a conscious decision, or is that just developed over time because of who you are?
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't say it would be a conscious decision. Like, I'm going to go out and try and create this vibe and
find Tummers
like
everywhere.
Trying to find Tummers, who's just an absolute legend. So it certainly wasn't something I intentionally went about. And I don't think it could be done authentically if you did intentionally go, I'm going to try look for these like people and try let them be these raving fans that just kind of foster this community. So it started slowly, and it's taken a long time to build the culture. And naturally, those people are attracted to these environments, and yeah, they are a big part of driving the community. So nothing intentional, but a lot of hard work, recruiting the right people, and leading from the front as well. Like, I was there, like I say, a lot in those early days at Jollymont, and probably as well as at Karen Up. And then, just from that top down, setting the example to the team, and then that fosters down into the community and the members. And then you have your Tummers, which are just absolute, amazing people. Gold.
Absolute gold. And I think it's a funny one that we probably don't talk about it as much, but I know I can walk into a room and feel quite comfortable, but walking into a gym is something different because there's obviously different personalities. You're almost benchmarked against certain people. And I feel that you walk into a gym and it can be quite uncomfortable a lot of the times. And so for anyone that's thinking about starting at a gym or a new gym, it can be quite overwhelming. And so as soon as you walk into somewhere that you feel comfortable, you almost feel like you just want to keep going back. And that's certainly what you've created, Karen Up. I've never been to Jollymont, but it sounds like I'm a bit too old to be at Jollymont.
Nah, you'll be in the mix there. You'll be fine. Like you say, everyone's welcome. And that's really nice to hear. That's great feedback that's kind of what you felt when you walked in there, because I totally agree that the fitness space is very intimidating. And especially for what we would consider maybe some somewhat fit older men, the demographic or the stage of life we're in now. But yeah, some people might not be their fittest or postpartum or have had injuries and haven't been into their fitness, or maybe they're getting into it for the first time. And so you're trying to create an environment where someone walks in where there is no judgment. And it's very hard because they probably have their own internal judgment. They see some sort of fit young thing that's wearing a crop or something, and they just immediately compare. And I think that's just human nature. But we try to create an environment where you're here to get better. We're all here to get better. And it doesn't matter if you get paired up with the CrossFit athlete or if you get paired up with a first-time mum. We're there to back each other, help each other out. And your work capacities may be different, but the outcome is still the same of like, we're here to get better and we're pushing each other, supporting each other. And I think both Fitstop, Jollymont and Karen Up have created an amazing environment where everyone is welcome. There is no judgment and people are just drawn to coming back, and there's an awesome vibe.
Mate, testament to you and Dane, obviously, but you're obviously there on the grind, even with the situation at home with the young ones. Yeah. How do you continue to revitalize something that has been going on? Like the gym environment, personal training has been going on for years. And obviously you've seen businesses like F45 come and slowly go as well. How do you keep it vibrant and good energy?
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's like, I think any like relationship requires constant work. It really does. And I think in the start, there is that initial excitement where it's all new and fresh and there's a bit of a sparkle to it. So the honeymoon period certainly wears off. And I'd say for Jollymont, coming up to that 4-year point, it's hit a bit of maturity and maybe that shine might not be there, but there still is this incredible Jollymont vibe, we call it. And I think Fitstop have coined this phrase, and excuse my French, but it's the give a fuck factor. And it just means you just genuinely care. And so when you come to coach a session or you're coming there to train or whatever, like you just care for the people that are there around you. And so whenever we have a team meeting, I always kind of finish with, it's the member experience comes first. And so that's always been the way we've kind of tried to run the gyms is what's the member experience from the moment they log in on the app and the text they get to confirm that that's the time they're coming to as they walk in the door, they don't know anyone, they've just found the gym, they get greeted by their first name because we know they've booked in. So I think, yeah, just that member experience is always at the forefront. And like you say, it does get challenging to keep it fresh and vibrant. And I think also getting down to more the nitty-gritty of the fitness side of it, we always want our members to be progressing. No matter how fit you are or strong you are, there's always room for improvement. And so the team and I are always constantly going, how the OGs going? Are they still doing that same weight? Or are they still doing that same output? Because they're here to get better and get fitter. So we're always trying to look to kind of just give them a little nudge where they need to.
Or if you haven't been for a few weeks, like I have in the recent times, I get a message from Kate just saying, "Hey, we've missed you. Just letting you know." Yeah. Sorry, Kate. I'll be there.
Passive aggressive. Where have you been?
Yeah. But I react to that in a positive way. Yeah. So I love that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, you know what? You're calling. There's accountability.
That's it. That's what the group training is, and you come because you're accountable to booking it on the app. You don't want to sort of be a no-show. You're accountable to the membership fees you've paid. You're accountable to the team or the group of members you're training around. And then Kate's got like your best interest at mind going, "Mike, where have you been, mate? It's been a few weeks. You've lost that streak."
Come on, mate. Get it down. Let's go back to rugby because that's obviously where we originally connected. I'll preface this for anyone for context. I would say that you're one of the best rugby players I ever played with or against, because there's not many people that when you watch them play, it looks like time stands still. And I find that quality halfbacks is where, so anyone that doesn't know rugby, it's the person that delivers the ball from rucks and scrums. I find that quality halfbacks have that ability to kind of stop, assess a situation, and then time starts again. And I've probably played with 3 halfbacks that have been able to do that over my journey. I'd never played to the level that you did. But take me back. I'd love to go back to the Force, because I'm guessing that moving over, the Springboks might not have been where you wanted to play, or maybe it was, but you got your first chance in Super Rugby at the Force against the Stormers.
Yep.
At Nib.
Yep.
And you won. Yeah. What was like? Take me back to that day.
Yeah, that was huge. I must say, like, it's very young in the academy, got an opportunity through a number of injuries. I think it was like Matt Henjack went down, and then maybe it was like, one of the backups, Chris O'Young, went down. And so I got a call up on like the Thursday, and the game was the Saturday by John Mitchell being like, "JT, you're on the bench." And John Mitchell was quite known for just giving young guys a crack. Massive thank you for John for chucking me in there. Probably very underdone and not ready. But yeah, went into the game with the Stormers full of excitement. And I came on, I think it was 20 minutes to go, and we were behind. Whole family in the crowd, like home game in Perth. All my mates were there and stuff. So yeah, it was just buzzing, and went on and just kind of I don't know, I've kind of always had that when I'm on the field, like you kind of hear coaches say, like players kind of just, their eyes roll over and they become a different person. I'm quite a conservative, quietly spoken person, but on the field, I'll kind of like I'm going to have a crack. Like, And so I still remember an incident where who's the massive lock for Itzebeth? He was playing for the Stormers at the time, and like I was 19 or something like that, and I like the ball, and we got a penalty, and he had it, and I just like ripped the ball off him, like pushed him. And like I look back at that footage now, I was like, I blacked out. Like, why would I do that? Like I was asking for trouble. But that's kind of just my attitude I've had on the field. Like just have a go. Like I really kind of back myself a little bit on the field. But yeah, an incredible game. We came back and ended up winning after the siren with a drop goal. We were like last phase. I threw like a long ball back to David Hill, who's the fly half at the time. He kicked an amazing drop goal straight through. Whole team swarmed him like it was a soccer celebration. It was just, hysteria. And all went back to my family house afterwards and just had a big party and, best day ever. So one of the highlights definitely the highlight of my rugby career was winning on debut at Nib in front of a home crowd against the Stormers of all teams.
That's so special because I was looking at the Stormers lineup. Habana.
Yep.
Schockberger.
Yep.
Etzebeth, as you mentioned. Big names.
Monster team, yeah.
And big people too.
Yeah, giants. We don't think we'd ever beaten them at home. It was a big night, huge milestone, I think, for the Force in general. And got my debut and went on to play most of the games for the rest of that season. Went on tour to New Zealand and South Africa and, played against the Highlanders, went to like Queenstown and started this, just dream run of my shortly lived rugby career, but soaked it up.
We'll get into why it was so short in a bit. But like, what was that like to kind of go from a 19-year-old in the academy with the dreams of playing, obviously professionally, because that's what you were trying to achieve, to then traveling with the team, full kit, being named starting halfback? Like, what was that like?
Like I say, it didn't feel real. It was like this dream. Like I'd grown up watching these guys and like traveling with like Matt Giddos and like Drew Mitchells and playing under Sharpie and like sitting in team meetings and being called on for like what the call is for that play and like I still pinch myself thinking that was a chapter in my life, but I absolutely loved it. It was amazing. And I think the longer you have as a career, maybe the more you not take it for granted, but you've done it. And so someone like Dane, who had a 10, 15-year career, living in hotels and living out of a bag, the novelty wears off. Whereas for me, it didn't. I was like, this is the best thing ever because it was only like 4 or 5 years where I was traveling. You flying business class as a 19-year-old. I was a small guy. I could lie sideways across the chairs. Staying in awesome hotels, traveling with your mates, essentially. It was like, traveling with my best mates. Like, had like James O'Connor I was really friendly with at the time. Obviously, Dane was there the whole time.
Poey was Pocock?
Dave Pocock. He was like our age, which is crazy to think. But playing with these absolute legends of the game and having the best experience ever. So, super grateful for it. Wouldn't trade it for the world. Still have really good contacts that I had during that period. We had our 20-year Western Force reunion a couple of weeks ago and got to catch up with all the likes of those guys, Scott Staniforths and all these guys. So amazing experience. So grateful I had it. It sort of did set me up for a lot of other things I've gone on to do.
Did you feel like you belonged to that level?
Probably not at the start, I would say. And then after a little bit of time, maybe that first season, which I think was 2008, made the Aussie 20s and we went to Argentina and I was like the halfback there. And that's when I was mixing with all the best players in Australia. And I was like, I'm actually on the same level as these guys. And he plays for the Brumbies. And, that's Lockie McCaffrey for the Tars. And then there's like Matty Tamur and all those guys. So you kind of go, maybe I am you got that credibility to be there. After a while, you kind of feel like you do belong, but it didn't come naturally to me to feel like I was a professional player. That's for sure.
And then you obviously had a few injuries that.
Yeah, just a couple.
one or two. Obviously, resilience is needed through those periods. What was it like, kind of being in that dream run, and you're like, this is amazing. I'm on the trajectory to go to where I wanted to get to then be crippled by something that was out of your control. What was that like?
Yeah, heartbreaking, if I'm honest. Like you say, it was a dream run. Had a really good season. 2008 went to the World Cup with the 20s in Argentina, and that's where it started. Was against South Africa in the quarters. did a knee ACL, came back with a scan, and I think there was like a World Cup the following year or something. So there was touts in the media that like, oh, the young halfback. So, but I didn't buy into that at all. I was a long way from the Wallabies, that's for sure. But you kind of couldn't help but think that was maybe an opportunity. So when you get cut down and it's like, yeah, you got a 12-month rehab coming up here, mate. And then you start to think, I'm sure you'll be aware of like a second-year syndrome. You get these guys that have an amazing first season, no expectation, no pressure, just go out there and kill it. And then all of a sudden there is expectation. So the second year is often the telling point. So you start to think about that. And yeah, it was a big come down from the high of that first season. So yeah, really, really tough. But yeah, had a good network around me from the Western Force being super supportive and the medical team and the rehab team to my family, to my mates. So grinding my way back. But then, yeah, we can go down that road, I guess. But yeah, another ACL before getting back to playing.
Were they different ACLs?
Same knee, yeah. So to cut the long story short, I've had 3 ACLs all in the same knee. The first 2 were back-to-back or before I got to playing again. Had a longer break after the second one, making sure that it was right, and came back and played, got a couple Super Rugby games in, and then went over to the Shoots Shield in Sydney and, yeah, did it again over there after maybe like playing for like a year. And that's when I started to reconsider, like, yeah, what am I doing here? I'm only 23, body's kind of really kind of been battered up the last few years, missing out on surfing and playing golf and spending a lot of time doing rehab. So that's when I probably reassessed rugby and started to think about life beyond it. But very much stayed within the rugby circles after that.
It's such a young age from like a maturity perspective, 23, and you're coming to the end of a career, and you're like, well, I'm only just about to start. Everyone else is just starting their careers, and it must be quite overwhelming to go, well, what am I going to do? Like, do I keep pursuing this, knowing that my body's not obviously like built for it, whatever it might be? What did you then want to do? Like, because there must have been a bit of wilderness.
Yeah, I think like deep down I would have, I think I definitely wanted to continue going. Like I lived and breathed rugby. I think everything I've done, I've not one for balance. I'd go all in. So I was all in on rugby. But then, yeah, after a lot of the injuries and like probably just more, not necessarily the physical toll, more the mental toll of kind of like you're in the team, you're out of the team, you're on the bench, you're in rehab, you're not, you do have a contract, you don't. It just, it's weighed in on you. So, yeah, just kind of thought, what does the next chapter look like? And I very much identified as a rugby player. So I stayed within the Western Force environment. I worked in community rugby with a good mate of mine, Tob Hoskins, who I think you've got his brother Ollie on tomorrow, which will be exciting for the crew. So, yeah, I was very much in the Western Force family, but just in community rugby, going out to schools and coaching kids, and absolutely loved it. And then, funnily enough, because I was still in that environment, again, much like my first opportunity, got another crack. I think it was like 2015. I was at Roto with my family. Got a call from the manager of the Western Force saying, we've got all the halfbacks have gone down. We need you on the plane if you can be there in New Zealand like tomorrow. And that was like a real decision. I was like, do I want to continue? And ultimately I said, yep, I'm doing this. So
I can't resist.
Flew over to New Zealand and was in the squad for the rest of the season. I couldn't even tell you what year that was. Must have been like, 2013 or 14. So travelled all over the sort of South Africa, New Zealand sort of season, but didn't really play much. Like was on the bench and just rode the pine a lot, which kind of, again, was a bit, I'm here, but I'm not here type stuff. So at the end of that season, reassessed and thought, I'll play for Soaks, which is my local club, our local club, the boys, Boneyards. But yeah, kind of wasn't going to chase rugby anymore. And that's kind of where, and it was just off the back of all the injuries, and I'm ready for something else now.
Was there a key moment that you remember where you're like, that's it?
So came back from that season and was playing for Soaks down, actually playing against Cottesloe, and
probably against Tobbs.
This is actually, I think I was like making a tackle down the sideline and just like scragged a guy and got caught awkwardly and dislocated my AC really badly. Completely different to the ACL. And I thought, what's doing here? Like, not enough. And this was quite a bad surgery. And I was like, yep, that's the point. So lots of knee injuries, lots of mental stress with the selection and rehab stuff. And then this was like probably the cherry on the top. I was like, I'm not doing this all again, not with a shoulder niggle. So probably came back from that. But whilst I was rehabbing and getting back to normality, I was like, okay, what am I doing next? And that's when the fitness, Cert 3, Cert 4, PT, fitness sort of passion sort of started to take off.
Is there a part of you that feels like you missed out, like it's a bit unfair, or like you're the kind of person that is all in? So it's almost like that chapter's closed. All right, this chapter, how can I succeed in the next chapter of life? Is that how you view it, or is it still like, oh, geez, I wouldn't mind it of having a bit more of a go?
To be totally honest, probably no. I don't think. I still think, like you said, did you feel like you belonged? Probably looking back, there is still like, I was quite lucky. I still think I was quite lucky to have that experience. So I'm so stoked, so grateful that I had that professional rugby stint. And I'm just grateful that I had it. I don't feel like there was like, oh, if I hadn't had that niggle or that knock, or if I had had that opportunity, I would have gone on to great things. I'm just super stoked that I had the career I had, and met the people and had the experiences I had, which, like I say, have given me a lot more opportunities. I've got amazing connections post-rugby now. So I don't have any sort of hard feelings or any what could have been post-rugby. I'm just stoked that I had the opportunities that I did have.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty content with it all, yeah.
I think the thing that I get quite amazed by is all the stuff that builds you up to this point in time. So you've met all these wonderful people, you've gone through all the strength and conditioning, you've learned all of this information, you've had your injuries, you've worked out resilience and how to keep moving forward, and now you're in this position of guiding people through that themselves.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing that that's the journey that you've been on. Do you reflect on that?
Hugely. Like the way I coach now at Fitstop and the way I deal with members, I would have nearly as much experience or knowledge had it not been for the rugby days, the injuries, the coaches I dealt with, the physios I've been with. Like I tap into all those even like the nutritionists and stuff we've chatted to. So like I say, all of the opportunities and exposure I had to some of the best at the most elite level allow me now to kind of support our members, our community, support our trainers. Still now I use warm-up games and fun activities that we used to do on the rugby days with some of our members, and the way we kind of run our team meetings. I still do a fix, sustain, improve, which is the way we did team meetings, I think under, might have been John Mitchell or Richard Graham, one of the coaches. So tapping into all those experiences has set me up, and I definitely reflect on it, and I'm so grateful I have had that past life, and now run my businesses and my team like that.
It's so cool. It's so cool to then be a part of that and watch you in your your element.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, JT's nailing this. It's really cool. What's next for you? Like, is there a third Fitstop? Is there another branch or nutrition? Have you got an idea on what's next, or is it just in the trenches?
Consolidate. Dane and I had the idea when we opened the Fitstops was like, let's have a couple communities and have as big an impact as we can. And so we've got the 2 locations, Jollymont and Karrinyup now, with the opportunity of maybe doing another one. But the chapter of life we're in, the season we're in now, is probably just to batten down the hatches. 3 little babies. He's got 2 little kids. So probably not looking at pulling the trigger on a 3rd location immediately. But that's not to say it's off the table. It's something we can reconsider maybe in a year or 2. I think long term, my next sort of transition will probably be teaching. Whether it's in a school or a different environment. I've got my teaching masters in physical education and health. I love working with kids, and now being a dad, it's kind of like lit that spark even more to deal with the next generation and sort of supporting the kids and in education and in fitness and health and well-being. So I think being a teacher, I'll definitely land on that at some point. But for now, it's probably just family life and trying to get the gyms really sustainable and set up so that next chapter can kind of go alongside both, and it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, it's the balance of life is a challenge at the moment. We were talking about it before. No one has that secret recipe that's like, if you do this, it's all balancing out.
Yeah. No, I mean, even like we spoke this just before we came on air, like this morning was just even a prime example of like being on a Zoom call, trying to set up like meta ads, and then a baby cries and it's like, hang on, that wasn't in the calendar. She wasn't supposed to wake up now, so you go get her. And it's, the whole balance thing. I don't know if there is I think it might be even just a myth, you just got to roll with the punches and kind of have enough support and framework that you can deal with things as they pop up and hopefully not get too distracted. But at the end of the day, priorities definitely lie with the family. And if a baby's crying, you just need to jump on that and hopefully get back to that work thing when it comes up, when the chance happens again. So we're juggling, we're spinning plates. But yeah, like I say, the wife is doing a lot of the legwork at home, which I'm grateful for.
You still have a smile on your face at 5 a.m, so that's saying something. Given you've got the kids, what values would you love to instill in them from what you've kind of grown up with?
Yeah, I probably think back to what values my parents instilled in me, which is like, hard work and honesty, being loyal and trustworthy, and all those kind of virtues, which I think are quite sort of high level, kind of maybe don't land quite as well. But I think just being a good person, I would say. Treating people for who they are and, not judging anyone by any preconceived ideas. And just having fun, just enjoy life and do what makes you happy. I think if we have that as the number one, as well as supporting them with whatever they do, whatever their passions are. I guess I'm still kind of trying to work out the core values, and I'm sure that'll evolve the more into parenting I get, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It just feels like you're spinning plates, as you said. So you're like, what values? I don't know. I just want to survive.
Veggies and that type of thing. Yeah. Survival.
Yeah. It's a funny phase. It's, as you said, a season, and that's the way my wife and I look at it. It's like seasons. Like, all right, this is batten down the hatch season. I don't know what the next one is. Maybe that's also batten down the hatch as well.
Yeah, I've heard that the challenges don't get less; they're just different challenges. Yeah. So, but equally as rewarding. Like, as much as we've spoken a lot about how tough it is, like, it's so ironic that we had a weekend down south just to kind of have a bit of a break. And as soon as we got down south, we had like 2 nights down there whilst my mum and dad took care of the little ones. The whole time down south, we were FaceTiming, worrying about the kids, like checking in, watching the baby monitor. And this was like our break. So as soon as you don't have them, all you do is you want them again. And it's the same as when you put them down at night. The first thing you do is you pull out your phone, you look at the photos you took today. And so it's a funny dynamic of like when you're with them, it's so tough and so hard. But when you're not with them, all you want to do is wake them up and be with them again. So it's the challenges are so tough, but it's so rewarding and amazing. Loving dadhood.
It's so funny you say that, because one of my favorite parts of the day is walking in on our daughters when they have just fallen asleep. And it sounds crazy, but like my wife and I jump out. We're like, all right, they're both asleep. Let's just go look at them. And you really admire them for like their own little beauty, and realize how tough it was to get them to sleep as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there is a bit of that reward. You're like, oh, thankfully you're asleep, and you're also cute as well. I love rounding this chat out with talking about what you're proud of, because I don't think we get to do that as much as adults, and we're trying so hard for our kids to do that. And our 5-year-old is she struggles a bit with social settings sometimes, and now she understands that she's got to let her butterflies fly away. And then afterwards she goes, I'm proud that I did that.
Oh, cute.
And so I don't think we do that as adults. No. And so I'd love to hear from you, professionally, personally, what it might be. What are you most proud of?
Yeah, probably going back, very proud of the rugby career. I think we've sort of spoken a lot about that, but very, very proud of some of the accolades and achievements and relationships I have through my rugby career. So that'd be one thing. Very proud of the friends I've got, my network of mates. As much as we are all in the same season of this early fatherhood, so we probably don't have as much communication as we used to. But yeah, I'm so stoked that I've got an amazing group of mates that we can all reach out to if we did need to call on them at any point. So proud of my family, probably most proud. Like, my wife is, like I say, is amazing. Our little daughter, little Turner tribe we've got is just incredible. The gyms, I guess, yeah, it's probably the thing I'm most proud of in my professional life. Creating 2 thriving communities at Jolimont and Karrinyup, off the back of a lot of hard work, a lot of hours, a lot of early mornings and late nights. But then probably more specifically within the businesses, I'm so proud of the team we've created. The team at Jolimont, like I say, it's kind of changing at the moment, but the team we've had for the last 3.5 years are just incredible. Just so good. We could not have done or grown the way we have without the team of trainers we've had. And the dynamic between them all is just amazing. So I'm so proud of the team we've created, both Jolimont and now at Karrinyup as well, kind of going down that same road. And yeah, I'd probably say those are probably the big ones.
You talk about impact and wanting to teach and have impact on people. The communities that you've created within both gyms, and I can only speak from one of them, you're impacting in such a positive light to so many people, and that's really special. So you as the individual, yeah, you've got your team, but you've also got how many members that you're having a positive impact on their life. Yeah. I reckon that's pretty cool. So
yeah, thanks.
Hats off to you on that. Thanks so much for coming in.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, no, thanks. It's nice to have a chat. Like I say, a long time between drinks, but yeah, stoked to be on the pod.
Oh, mate, it's awesome. Thanks, mate. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of our community at That Backyard Property Podcast. We would love it if you could like, comment, or even share with a family member or a friend that might get something useful from today's episode. We can't wait to see you again next Tuesday.